Having to take medication and having depression does not make me weak. It doesn't make me broken. It doesn't make me less than. It just means that in the same way that I take medication for allergies, I take medication so that my brain works the right way. I mean, it's such a simple solution to make me feel like me. I just really was still sad all the time, so I decided to go to the mental health center at the university and see what I could do to get some help. And I started counseling and got a prescription for antidepressants, and it just made all the difference in the world going forward. I don't know that I look like I'm super nervous or super anxious, but like on the inside I'm just a wreck. I just kind of wanted to share that because I figure I can't be the only one, right? I think at my low point I did have a moment that I didn't necessarily feel like I wanted to take my own life, but just the prospect of being alive felt so exhausting in that moment that I just didn't want to anymore. If you guys ever feel like there is no other choice, I hope that you will remember that there is another choice. You are important and you have lots of things to do before you leave this world. I've decided something new that I want to start doing, and this is kind of my way of introducing it, is I want to start doing a video that's mental health chat. So each video just talking about like a different subject having to do with mental health. I'm just looking forward to like talking about this. I feel like it's stupid that it's so stigmatized, and let's just have a chat about it, okay? Even when I was able to recognize pretty quickly on that, like, yeah, like I definitely have some issues with depression and definitely some issues with anxiety. I think my initial feeling about it was embarrassment. I didn't necessarily want to tell my friends that I was going through that, or that was kind of the diagnosis. I was just afraid that everybody in my life, which is stupid because those are the people that care about you the most, I was afraid they would judge me. You should never not do something that you know is going to be beneficial for you and beneficial for your health because you're worried about what other people think. The strange thing about like anti-anxiety and antidepressant medications is there is such a stigma against them, both from outside people that are not dealing with depression or anxiety, and I think that there seems to be a lot of stigma that people have against themselves about taking any kind of medication. Why are antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications the things that people point to and say that's not necessary? What works for one person is going to be different for another person because everybody's brain chemistry is different. Please don't get discouraged. Please keep trying. There's this whole thing of like, it gets better. It's the mantra that you're supposed to use to get through like your teenage years. It gets better, it gets better. And like, what do you tell somebody that's gotten past their teen years and it's not getting better? Because it doesn't always get better. Sometimes like the shitty things in your life just become different shitty things, and the best that you can do is to tell somebody like, please just keep going and please keep hanging on. If you are going through a hard time and if you are struggling with something, please talk to someone. You don't have to go through it alone. Everybody is susceptible to having struggles with mental health, and like, even if it's not a struggle with mental health, just having like a bad day. People are allowed to have a bad day. It's okay. You're human. With my anxiety and depression, really it's the anxiety part as I've gotten older that's been the biggest thing I've had to deal with, but this was the first like depressive episode I've had in a long time. All of the negative thoughts just came really rushing in, and it was a tough stretch. Sometimes, even if there's not really anything specific to do to make it better, like just being able to say it out loud and acknowledge it just feels like a weight lifted, because I know that I'm not alone. You are important. There are people that care about you, and the world is a better place because you are in it. There are people that have felt the same way and that have struggled with a lot of the same things, and they've gotten through it and they've made it to the other side. And they want nothing more than to help you make it to the other side too. It's okay to be both trying to stay positive, but also be kind of sad or discouraged or unsettled, you can let that have a moment too. I have to keep telling myself that I can either try and be positive about this or just let my sadness consume me. Make sure that you are not retreating so much that you're not connecting with people, because I think now more than ever it's very important to stay connected with people, because it's too easy to be able to fall into a hole where you just push everything out of your life and just focus on the crappy stuff that's happening. It feels really good to be able to put my flaws on display, which is uncomfortable, but I think it's important to destigmatize what we think mental health struggles look like. The only person that gets to define you is you. And you don't even have to define or label yourself. It's okay to be okay with not knowing who or what exactly you are. I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope that you're having conversations with yourself to check in and be like, how am I feeling? Why do I feel like this? What can I do to make it better? I know that is what I've been doing and it helps. We're all just doing the best we can. It's hard when you have a voice in your head saying that you don't have any right to feel the way that you feel. It causes me a lot of anxiety and is a lot of like anxious energy that I spend when it comes to responding or feeling guilty for not responding. I really do try. I really do think about it a lot. And I really am so incredibly grateful and appreciative because I know that I would not be able to do this without you. Please know that I care very deeply about you. I love you guys. 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 I love you. Love you guys. Thank you for being such a big part of my happiness. I love you.
I think back to all those years ago in the night I almost lost control. I never want to be that way again. I've come too far from where I was back then, and I know I'll make it through the